So Nintendo's announcing a Switch 2. Well, maybe. Either way, in honor of Nintendo Direct and the fact that they might be announcing a Switch 2, I'm going to be reacting to some of the most ridiculous renders on the internet of the Switch 2, the Switch Pro, whatever you want to call it. But there's a little twist. My editor, Danny, has put together a photo album of some of the most ridiculous renders, and he's also mixed in some apparently real Switch images. So we're gonna go through them, react to them, and he's gonna tell me which ones are real and which ones aren't. So let's go ahead and open up the video file he prepared for me. And oh wow. This is interesting. I'm gonna say this is fake, but it's still got the real Joy-Con sliding mechanism. I have a Switch here. It's a Switch Lite, so this does not help me. But it's got like some little nubs at the bottom. Definitely a thinner screen. Got a USB-C port on the bottom. Is that Roblox? I don't know. It's still got the same Switch joysticks. I don't know. Kind of a little bit weird. I'm assuming that's fake, right?
Yeah, it's fake. I think it's pretty good. This is one of the better ones I found. This is like circulating across a couple articles and whatnot, but I think it's pretty close. I believe this was made like before the OLED Switch was announced, and it's shockingly close to like at least the screen and the way that they expanded out the screen and how much it takes up with that front part. But yeah, those Joy-Con bits are a little out there.
Yeah, I actually forgot the Switch OLED was a thing. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Oh, wow. This one actually might be real because it looks to me like the middle is an actual Switch and the outside is just a ridiculous, like, a grip that somebody made. It's got, what is this, a turbo, a minus button. You got the plus button. What is that, screenshot button, a home button, an auto button. I don't know what that is. Got some concave joysticks, got a D-pad, got some sketchy little grips on the edge. Yeah, I don't know. That looks real to me, but it looks pretty crappy, honestly.
Yeah, you're right on the money. I started you off with the easy ones. This is a cheap like $30 controller thing you can buy on Amazon right now.
I'll link it down below if you guys want to check it out. But
I cannot vouch if it's good or not, but there it is.
And this one, that actually is like, it's kind of cool because it's like a throwback to the NES days. And yeah, it's got your little NES, little NES D-pad. You've got some joysticks that try to resemble the NES. Not that the NES had any joysticks, but and then you can see the separation. I guess these are Joy-Cons. I'm gonna say this is fake, but it's actually a pretty cool fake. Now, if Nintendo made this, I'd be very surprised, but I don't know. I kind of like it.
Yeah, this one's awesome. There's this guy who made this one. He's made a couple that are kind of like the Super Nintendo. He's made like a Super Nintendo one that's pretty similar, but it almost reminds me because of like the four face buttons. It almost reminds me of like those knockoff NES controllers you get from like China or whatever. Try to have like it's got 800 games or whatever. It reminds me of like one of those controllers. But I thought this one was pretty neat. This guy's done a couple things I'll show on screen that look pretty similar.
Yeah, and actually looking closer at it, looks like I can see some fingerprints on it. Oh, so I guess this is like a real photo of, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why I see a fingerprint there. That's just kind of
I think it's just a very good render. Guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah. All right, this one, oh, that's definitely real. Those look like those Hori pads. I don't know if those are actually the Hori pads. I've never used anything other than a normal Joy-Con, but
you got it immediately.
Yeah, these look definitely legit, and you got your assign button, turbo. I don't use any custom controls in the Switch, so I don't know too much about that, but looks pretty basic, and definitely looks like it'd fit better in my hands, honestly, than the real Joy-Cons. Real Joy-Cons are so small, they don't fit in a normal person's hands, unless you're a kid, I guess, but yeah, you said this is real, right?
Yeah, I was hoping I would throw you off a little bit. I wasn't sure if you'd ever seen the Hori pads, so I threw it off a little bit because I got the logo out of there, so I removed the logo, so I was hoping like you wouldn't be able to immediately tell, but yeah, you've definitely seen them before, so yeah, you got me on there.
All right. Next one. Oh, okay. So this I actually think I've seen this before because I saw a video on like TikTok the other day where some guy had some giant TV on the wall, but it looked like a Switch, and it almost looks like this guy is assembling that same concoction. I think it's a real Switch hooked up to a TV and just like this crazy bezel, and which looks pretty good. Honestly, I don't think I would put this on my wall. I don't know that there are many people that would, but it's definitely a cool idea. And you can even see the guy hand assembling this here. I guess I'm curious if these buttons are actually working, but I would assume not, but maybe they are. I don't know.
Yeah, this guy has I'll link the video and I'll show it on screen here. It's insane. He makes this whole thing out of like wood and he constructs this with 3D printing and everything. I think I didn't see the video to the end, so I'll leave it up to you, the viewers, to to get the full experience. But I think he actually got it working where you can play this thing like a real Switch if you were a giant.
Yeah, it looks like he almost looks like he's controlling it with the left joystick while they're playing. But let's check out the next one. All right, so this looks like it's trying to be real, but obviously there's no Switch that has a curved. I guess it's like a folding phone basically. You fold the phone, but it's a Switch. So that'd be kind of crazy if they came out with if the Switch 2 was like this. But definitely gonna be fake. Those Joy-Cons, they honestly did not do a very good job of rendering those. Those are, I don't know, they just look kind of crappy, honestly. But I think this would be really cool if there was a folding Switch. I just don't see the usefulness of it, but I'm assuming this is completely fake.
Oh yeah, like this is what a vast majority of these renders online look like. It's like I think people got really excited about the folding screens. Like, oh, what if we can bring back like the DS clamshell but for the Switch? So there's so many of these.
I can't even imagine what would happen with kids with having folding screens like this and the screen actually bends, like broken immediately. I don't know how they would prevent that, but let's check out this next one here. And oh wow, okay, we got. So the Switch is not only the Switch anymore, it's moving into like the whole media territory. We got Netflix, Spotify, got a Nintendo logo over here. Even got two of them. We got these interesting looking Joy-Cons. I'm not actually sure how this folds down. I don't know if the Joy-Cons come off of here and it folds down, or if it just folds down and has this gap right there between the top screen and the bottom screen. Definitely a cool concept. Obviously fake, but yeah, what's the backstory on this one?
Yeah, cool is one way to describe it. I think this is one of those things you look at for a second and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool looking, and then you think about it practically and it just gets stupider the more you think and contemplate on it. So yeah, you already pointed out the gap that would inevitably be there if you closed it. But if you look at the joysticks, they just don't make any sense. Like you look at them, there's not even enough room for like the joystick to move around if you were to actually try to play with this thing.
Yeah.
And there's a couple different renders that this guy made of this kind of concept. It actually is pretty neat, like what he came up with, where the screen portion, it's another one of those bendable screen Switch concepts where it'll bend all the way out. You can take the Joy-Cons off, and like that's the idea. But I guess he just thought it'd be cool if they could also like magnetically attach to the screen. I'm not really sure how that's. I feel like that would damage the screen in some way. Like you're just asking to scratch up the screen like crazy. But yes, this is very similar to the last one, but taken to a really interesting extreme.
Yeah, that's I'm amazed people have the time to come up with these things and publish them, but it's definitely cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is definitely real. So this is, I actually have on my first Switch I had a skin I bought for the dock, I think, where I think it was a Super Nintendo skin I put on the dock and it looked like a Super Nintendo. So this is pretty cool. You got your Super Switch, which that'd be kind of funny if they, I guess let's take bets on what the next name is for the next Switch, if there is another one. You got the Switch 2, you got the Switch Pro, you got the Switch XL, you got the new Switch, the new Switch XL, the new Switch Pro. I don't know. They always got ridiculous names, Nintendo does. But yeah, I'm assuming this is just a skin, right?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if this is actually a skin you can buy. It might just be a render someone made of an idea. But I like that someone else thought that the Super Switch was a really good name. That's my favorite name they could go with. Come on, bring it back to the old days. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Switch, Super Switch. It just makes sense. I just really like the name concept, and yeah, I think this is just kind of a skin and paint job. I'm not sure if you could actually buy it though.
Yeah, I think it has some cleanup to do if you're actually to actually buy a skin like this. But oh yeah, there we go. Now this one, I think it's fake, but it honestly looks like on the borderline. Like I think the middle part looks legit, like it's just the middle part of the console. The Joy-Cons and the edge look like they could be plausible to plug into your Switch, except for the whole lighting thing. But like I guess there's power going through there, so that's plausible. But I'm assuming this is fake, right?
Yeah, so this one is actually a video, and again, I'll link it on screen. You can go watch it if you want. This is a strange one. It gets weirder the more you watch it. So those little light up bits on each Joy-Con, those actually come off. Like he shows in the video, they come off. They're like a little dome magnetic piece that like comes off. Somehow it communicates with the Joy-Con. It doesn't really make sense, but you know, we'll pretend it does. But it's just got all this like crazy customization about it, and it's just taken to the extreme, like what a Switch Pro could be. But yeah, this one's something else.
All right, on to the next one. Oh, and we got a Nintendo Switch Pro. So this is the true Nintendo Switch Pro that we actually already have. You got the Steam Deck with Play and Switch on it, which you can do. Not I'm gonna leave that up to you if you choose to do that. But clearly, this is people's method of choice right now. Nintendo Switch Pro, pretty cool. Obviously, I guess I'd call this real. It's not really real, but it works. So yeah. Any other details here?
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend this is real because I made it real. So this is just some Photoshop magic I threw together in 5 minutes. I was hoping it would throw you off for a second or two, but it only took you a half second to realize what I did. Unfortunately, I probably
Yeah.
should have found a better photo that was a little more off angle or something of the Steam Deck. But yeah, you got it pretty quickly.
All right. Well, okay. This one is my favorite, and this is definitely real. It looks like somebody 3D printed a Super Nintendo attachment. So you slide your Joy-Cons on the side. Huh, this is interesting. I could see how this happens. I guess you could somehow, I don't know. I don't really know how the mechanisms work with the Joy-Cons. Like when you slide them in, the Nintendo Switch detects them. So somehow they put the Joy-Cons on the side, and I guess somehow it's still detecting them when you put them in, and then you slide your Switch in the top. I don't know what's going on here. Definitely like half real, half fake, because it's just a Super Nintendo 3D printed, I'm assuming, and then sticking your Joy-Cons in there. This is a weird one. What's going on here?
Yeah, so you're on the money. I'm pretty sure it's 3D printed. I couldn't really find a source for this one. It's just a photo that someone found. But if I had to guess, I don't think there's any actual connection going on to the center part. It's kind of like if you were to play with just the Joy-Cons while your Switch is in the dock. I think that's basically what the Switch is seeing.
Okay.
Maybe he has it wired so that the Joy-Cons can charge at least. But I'm not really sure how you even play it like in handheld mode if it was sitting there like that. Like, what is the image going to show up on the screen while it's sitting in the cartridge? But I think the visual of this is really funny.
Yeah, true. I'm not even sure why. I don't know why I was thinking that, but like half the screen is even cut off, so that would make no sense to actually play that in that concoction. But next one is this one is definitely fake, but like this one actually looks the most real of everything I've seen. Like the most real of like something plausible that could happen for the Nintendo Switch 2, because I don't know, it just like looks somewhat real. Obviously, I think Nintendo would go a different route. They probably still keep the Joy-Cons in some kind of fashion. This one has no Joy-Cons. Looks kind of like a Switch Lite, but just like a sleeker version. I think it looks pretty cool, actually. Kind of like a PS Vita type thing.
Yeah, it's almost like, I was gonna say the Vita. It's very PlayStation, very Vita like. It almost looks like if they were to make like a Switch Pro, this would be like the light model of that Switch Pro.
Yeah. Now, after recording this video, I made my own Switch render. It's not really a render, it's a Photoshop. But as you can see here, I have 4 cartridge slots. I have a bigger screen. I have the GameCube Joy-Cons. I don't know, looks kind of cool, looks pretty cheesy, but my price estimation is $850, and that's for a good reason. So first of all, for 4 cartridge slots, you're going to need the hardware of 4 Switches. So, but I took a little bit of money off because you don't need the Joy-Cons, you don't need the screen for all of them. So I estimated about $200 per Switch. So that's 4 Switches times 200, $800. And then these GameCube Joy-Cons cost $50. So $850 sounds about right to me. But I don't know, I just started putting it together and it kept going further and further and getting more and more ridiculous. But let me know down below what you think about all these renders, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.